Aviation Park Auditorium in Redondo Beach was the setting for a battle, a war of the most elite muscular physiques the world has to offer. It was the second annual Ironman Invitational, which has grown to one of the most competitive events on the pro circuit. Ironman magazine assembled 18 world-class athletes, a lineup many felt was harder to judge than the recent Mr. Olympia. Prejudging proved to be a dilemma as the quality of each competitor's incredible physique became obvious. The capacity, muscle-hungry crowd roared for its favorites, and the comparisons were a melee of flexing body parts. Each man wanted the coveted Ironman title badly and fought with fierce determination to edge out his closest rival. The night show began with an atmosphere of fervent anticipation. The routines that followed were a testament not only to the creativity of men's posing, but also the amazing advances made in professional physiques. From Holland was Ricardo, thickly muscled with one of the best chests we've ever seen. Mr. France, Michael DeVitis, displayed a tremendous upper body, but could have used more cuts in his thighs. Walcott Smith from Scottsdale, Arizona looked great, but needs more size to compete at this level. 52-year-old Katsumi Ishamura, a Japanese champion, has mass to spare on his 5-foot frame, but lacks the flowing proportion judges look for in a pro champion. Kevin McGaunn, a world amateur winner, needs more time to ready his physique for a show like this. England's Selwyn Cottrell had the largest upper body in the show, but his legs need more work to match up to his tremendous torso. Former Mr. Universe John Brown returned to the stage after an absence of over 5 years. Having seen the meteoric rise of two men whose bodybuilding careers he began, namely Sean Ray and Vince Taylor, John must have decided it was time to make a comeback. John is known as one of the best posers ever to grace a platform and got the crowd to its feet with his charged routine. Also known for raising posing to a new level is Bob Parris, one of the most popular bodybuilders in history. At 6 feet and 230 pounds, Bob is renowned throughout bodybuilding as Mr. Symmetry, and his presentation is as close to perfect as the sport has seen. This is Bob's first show in a year, so we asked him how he prepared for the Ironman.
I think that, well, I feel that for this competition, this series of competitions, I've trained harder than I ever have. I put a gym, a full commercial gym in my house, and really concentrated not only training-wise, but nutritionally on being 100% with all of the different elements.
Taking 10th place was Wilhelm Jasinkowski from Berlin in his first pro show. The 30-year-old Wilhelm was ripped, but he needs more size to do better at the professional level. At the beginning of his pro career, we're sure we'll see more of this proportionate German in the future. A surprise 9th place was the Algerian Atlas, Mohammed Benaziza. Momo, as his friends call him, showed up with his patented thickness, weighing 178 pounds at only 5 feet 3 inches. With victories at the 1990 Night of the Champions and a string of Grand Prix wins under his trunks, many expected Benaziza to sweep this show. Unfortunately, he came in just a bit heavy, sacrificing his usual diamond-cut hardness in the process. In 8th place was New Jersey's own Franco Santoriello in his professional debut at the Ironman. At only 25 years old, the Cybergenics kid is known for his Herculean development. At 5 feet 6 inches, Franco weighed a huge and ripped 204 pounds, with arms and legs that defy description. Along with an aggressive stage presence, Santoriello is a young man striking fear into the hearts of other professionals. We asked Franco what improvements he had made in his physique in preparation for this event.
Well, I'm on the Cybergenics, and it's really aided a lot in my muscle growth. I put on a lot of weight in my nutrition and increasing my calories a bit, and things are looking really good. You know, I've got a good physique this year, I feel, and I think I'm going to do real great in the pros.
Garnering 7th place was another crowd favorite, Francis Benfatto. With his movie star looks and outstanding symmetry, the women think Benfatto to be some sort of Greek god carved from stone. Francis was expected to do better and would have had he come in sharper as he did in the Olympia. And when Benfatto brings his legs up a notch, he will no doubt win the Ironman or any pro show he chooses to enter. The 6th place slot was filled by Canada's Steve Brisbois. Steve took the Bantamweight Amateur World Championship as well as the Canadian title back in 1986 and has since built up his 5 feet 4 frame to a razor-sharp 160 pounds. Brisbois is also one of the more popular bodybuilders in the sport and competed in 6 shows last year, placing high several times with his flawless symmetry. We asked Steve how he thinks drug testing will affect bodybuilding.
I see it getting better and better all the time. I mean, you know, the drug issue is a big thing, and we're always going to get stereotyped no matter what. But in bodybuilding, man, everybody's just bodybuilders. When you look at, I mean, the list of professional athletes in the world and some of the best athletes in any sport, I mean, people have to start thinking, maybe they're a little naive or not, but I think they stereotype bodybuilders too much.
In 5th place was Vince Taylor from Fort Lauderdale. Vince has some impressive titles to his credit, including the 1988 Nationals, the 89 Night of the Champions, and a 3rd place finish in the 89 Mr. Olympia. He's a former all-around athlete known for his mind-blowing arm and calf development. And when Vince comes in at his hardest, he's obviously one of the very best in the world. At this show, 210 pounds proved to be too much, as Taylor looked bloated. 4th place was won by a former WABA world champion, Thierry Pastel from Paris, France. This was the first time many in the audience had ever seen Pastel, though hardcore fans know him from his 1990 Holland Grand Prix win over a field almost identical to the Olympia. Thierry is dense at 5 feet 5 inches and a cut 178 pounds. In addition to possessing the best abs in the show, Thierry also has outstanding calves. In 3rd place was the most shredded man in the show, if not the world, Andreas Munzer from Germany. Munzer had striations on top of striations and drove the crowd wild by bringing them out in one eye-popping pose after another. Only 26 years old, Andreas is 210 pounds of pure, hyper-ripped muscle on a 5'10" frame. With quads from another planet and a lat spread that blocks out the sun, many felt Munzer should have placed even higher. And with just a bit more size, he will soon easily dominate the pro ranks. The runner-up in the Ironman competition was 29-year-old Renel Janvier, who you may remember barely missed the overall at the 1988 USA, then went on to win his class at the World Championship. This was Renel's very first pro show, and he very nearly took it all. Originally from Haiti, Renel is renowned for his thickly packed muscle combined with some of the deepest muscle separation imaginable. At 5 feet 7 inches and a ripped 210, Renel is also one of the strongest bodybuilders around. He's only beginning to tap his competitive potential, and we can only wonder what kind of incredible future is in store for him. The show was won by LA homeboy J.J. Marsh. The 1990 Houston Pro Champ has put to rest any talk that he was washed up by dominating this show, which featured some of the roughest competition ever seen on a stage. After taking 5th at the 1990 Ironman Invitational, J.J. vowed to come back this year with guns blazing. It proved to be no idle threat, as his 5 feet 8 inch, 210-pound physique overwhelmed the contest with gigantic legs, an amazingly ripped condition, and flowing lines. J.J. was disqualified at the 1990 Olympia, but he feels that 1991 will be his year.
Seeing that I wasn't able to compete at the Olympia in 1990, you know, it didn't really bother me. You know, it was just, you know, I had to really look at it from a competitive standpoint due to the fact that, you know, they were going to be doing the testing and everything. So, you know, I went in with the fact that, you know, maybe I will pass, maybe I won't. And I guess the cards weren't in my favor, and I didn't pass the test. So I didn't really let it get me down. I just, you know, decided that, hey, you know, I'm going to come back out in 1991 and show people that, hey, I can put it all together and I can win the Mr. Olympia.
And just as JJ continues to improve, so does the class of competitors each year at the Ironman Pro Invitational. As the first pro event of the season, it may soon be said that winning this title is second only to the Mr. O. Reporting for American Muscle, I'm John Kobick.